Now, I don't think you're testing us to see if we're strong enough. I think you're testing us to see if we are good enough. And I don't think in any of the universes you've tested that anyone has ever stood and confronted you like this.
Yes. You are the first in a multitude.
I'm not who you need. You said I'd pass the test if I knew my true self. My true self is filled with darkness. But Barry and Kara are different. They inspire hope. They inspire people because they are the best of us. And if this test of yours is going to kill our best chance at stopping this crisis, well, as gods go, you're not a very smart one.
So, you've probably heard by now that Arrow is coming to an end with its next season. Season 8, which will air next fall, will be the final season of the show. It will run from October to presumably December, and it will include 10 episodes to close out the show for good. We've kind of known for a while now that Arrow was reaching the back half of its run. We knew its days were numbered. We knew that sometime soon the announcement would come that the show would be ending. I honestly thought that season 7 might be the end because it just seemed right. 7 seasons was a good number for a show to end at, but I didn't want it to end. Arrow has been my favorite TV show of all time for as long as I can remember, with just Smallville beating it before I started actually watching Arrow at all. I've been watching the show since October 2011. I remember in the months running up to it, seeing the trailers for it and all that, really hoping that Oliver Queen in this show would be Justin Hartley from Smallville, and that it would be the same character. But as time went on, I came to love Stephen Amell's interpretation of the character far, far more than any other version of the character I've ever seen, and that includes the comics. Arrow has been such an escape for me. There are times during this show that it really helped me get through bad times. This TV show was just so special to me. I learned how to do archery because of this. I've been doing archery for the last 4 years because of Arrow. This show has genuinely changed my life, and it's going to kill me to see it end. It's most likely that the crossover will either be episode 8 or 9. I would say they're going to have the crossover be episode 9 because they'll probably, like Elseworlds, not going to want crossover to affect the other shows mid-season. So like Flash, Supergirl, Legends, they're not going to want the crossover to ruin the momentum of their mid-seasons. So maybe have the crossover be episode 9, which will be Crisis on Infinite Earths. Some big stuff is going to happen in that crossover, with then episode 10 probably being Arrow's final episode ever, with, assuming, I'm not going to say it in case people consider it a spoiler, but if you've been following just online stuff about this show, or if you've been even just from how Elseworlds went, you probably know what will happen to Oliver Queen in Crisis on Infinite Earths. And if that happens in, say, episode 9 of Arrow, which will be the crossover, then episode 10, have all of the cast of the show, all the characters deal with what happened, and then close it out that way. It also makes sense because this season on Arrow, the flash forwards have definitely been setting up a future where Oliver Queen is very much not around. His children, William and Mia, they've in the most recent episode they had a conversation about how Mia said that she implied she never met Oliver and stuff like that, and that William never talked to him again after he left Starling City. So it's very probable the future that we all thought was going to happen in Crisis on Infinite Earths is actually going to happen, and then Arrow will end that way, which I think it's a fitting end. This universe started with him. The very first Legends of Tomorrow trailer that came out, the very first one, it was like a different version of the Legends pilot. It had Oliver and Barry basically bringing together the team rather than Rip Hunter, and in that Oliver kind of gives a little speech about how, I'm paraphrasing here because it's been a long time since I've seen it, But he basically said that this all started with him. He was a vigilante with a bow and arrow, no superpowers, anything like that, and he wanted it to stay that way. But then things got a little bit stranger. Barry Allen came along, got his powers, and then the Legends came along too.
I started this alone, and I had every intention of keeping it that way. I had a plan. Life had a different one. And then things just got stranger. What's happening to me? Partners? Partners.
And I think if Crisis goes the way we think it will, I can think of no better way for Oliver Queen and Arrow to go out than with him saving the universe he created. Stephen Amell tweeted about this with saying, "Playing Oliver Queen has been the greatest professional experience of my life. But you can't be a vigilante forever." Arrow will return for a final run of 10 episodes this fall. There's so much to say. For now, I just want to say thank you. Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, Beth Schwartz released a statement saying that this was a difficult decision to come to. But like every hard decision we've made for the past 7 years, it was the best interest of Arrow in mind. We're heartened by the fact that Arrow has birthed an entire universe of shows that will continue on for many years to come. We're excited about crafting a conclusion that honours the show, its characters, and its legacy, and are grateful to all the writers, producers, actors, and more importantly, the incredible crew that has sustained us and the show for over 7 years. We've also had many of the other cast and crew talking about this, with David Ramsey, Juliana Harkavy, and Rick Gonzalez all posting on Twitter or Instagram about it. David Ramsey posted a picture of him doing the 8 fingers that him and Stephen Amell do every year when the show gets renewed. The two of them post a picture of themselves with their fingers up of however many seasons they're on now, and he does the same for the 8th season. He said, "What an awesome ride. Arrow fans have been the best any actor could have asked for. Thank you for helping me bring John Diggle, Spartan, to life. Love all of you. Can't wait for you to see what we have in stock for you. Let's end on a high, shall we?" Rick Gonzalez, who plays Renee, tweeted, "Thankful and grateful to have had the chance to bring Wild Dog to life on Arrow. Thank you to all the writers and producers and cast and crew for welcoming me with open arms, and a big hug to all the fans for the love. It's our job to give you an amazing last 10 episodes. Juliana Harkavy, who plays Donna Drake, tweeted, "Arrow has been the greatest adventure of my life. If that weren't enough, I've also made friends I will have for the rest of my life. I'm so grateful for all of it. Here's to an incredible final season, and here's to all of you. Thank you for your passion, your love, and your support. We love and appreciate you more than you'll ever know." Colton Haynes, who plays Roy, tweeted, "Sad to hear the news that Arrow will be ending after Season 8. What an incredible ride this has been. Thank you to all the fans out there who supported us along the way." Stephen Amell also went live on Facebook pretty soon after the announcement, like 4 or 5 minutes. It was really emotional. He was holding back tears the whole time. He just kind of thanked everyone, all the fans, all the crew, all the cast for 7 or 8 years of an amazing show. And he said that while he is stepping away, if we're familiar with the Arrowverse, we know that just because he's done, he won't be gone. He said it's not supernatural, but it'll continue on its own way, which obviously alluding to the fact that the Arrowverse brings back characters all the time. Time travel, multiverse, dead characters coming back with magic, all the stuff like that. And hey, maybe the character doesn't even die, and maybe he'll just come back in the crossovers or whatever. But I highly doubt this is the last we'll be seeing of Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen. I think we'll see him a lot, just not as much as if Arrow was still on. But yeah, this is truly sad, and it's also weird because 10 episodes is so unheard of for a CW show. If CW shows get a final season, they'll either get the mid-season, they'll air in the mid-season with like 13 to 14 episodes. It's just 10 episodes is And especially in the fall as well. It's just so un-CW-like. But I'm sure it'll be great nonetheless. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Arrow ending? Are you happy it is? Are you sad it is? And what do you think this means for the future of the Arrowverse? It sucks. Daredevil ended, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending, Arrow is ending, and Avengers Endgame is going to be the ending of the first part of the MCU. It really feels like just this chapter of superhero and comic book media is coming to an end. Yes, this just opens up a whole bunch of new doors for new stuff, like such as Batwoman probably being the show to take over from Arrow. But at the same time, it's emotional to see all of this. These were the things that really shot off the comic book media, and now they're all coming to an end. Anyway, as sad as this is, all good things must come to an end.